Good morning, Community of Hope. How's everybody? Good. Let me first give honor and praise to God and my Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me just one more day to be able to serve my children, my family, my community, and each and every one of you. And I feel so blessed. Pastor Lee mentioned some of the things that I've been blessed to be able to do. When he mentioned Harvard, I said, oh, no. I would have been better off at University of Maryland. But yes, I know. But I've been blessed, and I look at it as the Lord saying to me, listen, I'm going to give you the tools to serve, so just do that. Let me first start off by thanking your pastor, Tony Lee. Is he outstanding or what? And what is so impressive about your pastor is the connections that he makes between Board of Education, police department, nonprofits, all to help build strong families, whether it's through education, whether it's through safe streets. And I really cherish you. And on behalf of the governor and myself, I want to thank you for what you do to make our families, communities strong, not just in Prince George County, but around the state of Maryland. And I don't know how many of you know, and if you don't, you ought to know that he's got a direct link to the White House. And when they're on the phone talking about faith, and faith organizations and the role that they can play in partnering with federal government, they're talking to Tony Lee, Pastor Tony Lee. So congratulations to your pastor, and congratulations to you, to Assistant Pastor Lee, Mama Lee. I met your grandmother too. It's a family affair, and I'm just really excited to be here. I know I've got to be brief because I'm not delivering that message today, but I had just a few things I got to say. Okay, one is, many of you may remember I was here I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, and I was talking about foster care, and I reminded you that there is a disproportionate number of children of color in the foster care system, but unfortunately, there are not enough of us as foster parents. I asked you to look into your heart then, and I'm asking you to do it again today, to see whether you have room in your heart and room in your home to open it up to a child in foster care who is looking for a loving, caring home like each and every one of us are looking for in our lives. And on the way out of the church, there's some literature that's set up. I was talking to Dr. Folsom. He told me that a number of you expressed an interest in this foster care and being a foster parent last time I was here. So if you didn't act on that interest, that's okay. There's literature on the way out. Go ahead, take a look, refresh yourself, and see maybe if there is a place. That's the first thing I want to mention. The second message I wanted to bring is domestic violence. Domestic violence, unfortunately, regardless of race, religion, age, cultural background, domestic violence is pervasive in our community. It's a public health and it's a public safety issue. A few good things I wanted to bring to your attention. Number one is, just about 4 weeks ago, we established at Prince George's Hospital the 5th domestic violence screening and referral program in community hospitals in the state of Maryland. There were 4 that were existing around Baltimore. I said, hey, we need one in Prince George's County. We set one up, okay? These are trained professionals in the emergency department. When you come in, your neighbor comes in, somebody that you know comes in, and you know that story. How'd you get that bruise? I fell down the steps, and what's behind that story is she got pushed down the steps. So we got professionals now who are going to help kind of screen through and help and assist these victims of domestic violence, so they will come forward and enable us to help them and refer them to services so they don't have to return to the hospital. And it's not just for that woman, and I say women because, 85% of victims of domestic violence are women. It's not just for that woman, but it's for her children as well. So I want to tell you about that. The other thing I want to tell you about is we passed a law, and it just went into effect in October. More protections for victims of domestic violence who live in apartment buildings. And let me tell you, and you got to know this, and you got to share this with people who you know may be the victims of domestic violence and live in an apartment building. Today, now, that woman can go to the landlord and say, I want my locks changed. He has to change them within 48 hours. Today, a woman who's faced with the landlord who says, I got to kick you out. I'm throwing you out because there's too much going on in your apartment building. If she can show she's got a temporary restraining order, that's her protection. The landlord can no longer throw her out of the apartment building. And then the third piece of that is, maybe she decides it is time for me to get out of this apartment building. I need to go to a safer location, like maybe the Prince George's Family Crisis Center. And she goes to the landlord and says, I need out of this lease. Now, yesterday, or, a few months ago, the landlord said, you can do what you want. I'm holding on to your security deposit and that last month's rent. Not today. Landlords got to give back the security deposit and the last month's rent. So we are doing everything we can to help victims of domestic violence. So let people know about that one. That's an important one. That's an important one. The last thing I wanted to say, two last things. One is keep in your prayers, your thoughts and prayers today, the Washington Redskins. Okay, let's hope they can repeat what they did last week and not what they did 2 weeks ago. Okay? And keeping your thoughts in prayer along with Dr. Folsman, that entire transition team, Rashawn Baker and our county leadership. They need us now more than ever. Good government, transparency in government. And finally, let me say this. Many of you know, and you saw it last time I was here. I don't like coming late to worship service because I need a good word myself, and I never leave early because I'm here to worship. Okay, and I appreciate the opportunity to deliver a little bit of a message what we're doing in government. But here's the deal today: if Pastor Lee really gets inspired and he's going past 12, okay, you are going to see me leave today. I got to let you know. The only reason why is because I'm a single father, okay, and my children are at church and they're going to be delivered at 12:15 at my home. And their father's got to be there because I cannot have my 10-year-old son pulling my father card today. So I got to be there at 12:15. So if you see me leave at 12, it's because I got to get home to my little boy and my girl. Okay, so I'm looking forward to worshiping with you. Thank you for inviting me, Pastor Lee.
Come on, somebody need to give God